we actually have Bas on today because he's pretty inspiring. I like his story. I'd like everybody to hear it. So without further ado, he can introduce himself and they can say a little bit about themselves first.
Yeah, no, I'm Bas Vaessen. I used to race the World Championship MX2 for a few years, and 2 years and a couple weeks ago, I had a pretty big crash. Got partially paralyzed from my neck down. But initially they said I was never going to walk again, but I'm sitting next to these guys, so not too bad.
Oh, yeah, through a mutual friend, got to meet him and had no idea. So the story, I was just surprised. It's crazy to see how people with certain mindsets encounter different things and how they go about their life. So I really just wanted to have him speak more on that and just get a better understanding of his perspective. So, and we all kind of talked at Dade City briefly, but I figured we'd extend it here at this point.
Yeah, it's a great thing to be an amateur guy and go to a local track and meet somebody like you who can just share the experience, and we get a little glimpse of your life and what it was like to live it and make the dream happen, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, even what little bit, you got to experience, maybe not being able to go to maybe Supercross or everything you wanted to do, but I mean, you made it farther than 90% of the guys ever will.
And yeah, no, it was definitely a dream life. Like, I always told people, like, I was living the dream life. I basically got paid racing motorcycles around the world. So, that was, couldn't wish for anything else. Obviously, I had some more goals that I wanted to achieve, but sadly, that something didn't happen. But look on the positives, what we achieved, and that what we still can do. So, like, I'm still going to tracks, I'm still going to, like, see people and see races, and just
still being involved in the community.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because even though it took so much from me, still love it. Still love
your passion, man. And I think that we all, would think that way and be that way, because you look at guys like Mitch Payton, who are great, desert Baja champions, and then absolutely paralyzed, and look where he's at and created a pro circuit, and he's known as one of the greats in motocross.
He's one of the legends.
He is a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's a bad boy green team, man. But. I think it's really cool that, it doesn't have to be, limiting to being involved in doing the sport to be so into the sport. There's so many aspects that allow you to still be involved without actually being a racer or a rider.
Oh, most definitely. So, with my neighbor, it's quite funny. He actually got 85cc world champion last year. And so sometimes I still go with him, and I've known him since because we were neighbors, and still it's so cool to see him grow up and making the steps that he's making the last few years, because he's been going through an incredible journey as well now, and just not really be involved with that, but be a small part of see him growing. It's just still so cool.
Of course, I mean. When did you get into riding? How long ago was it then? How did you get started riding?
Sort of by total chance, actually. So, basically my parents knew nothing what motocross was. They had no clue whatsoever. And basically, when I was younger, when I was 2 years old, they gave me an electric board to just ride around a little bit, and I loved it. I love riding it, and then the 440 got a little too slow, and then they gave me an engine one. This was a Suzuki 50 quad. Just ride around that, and then the grass at home, and just destroying the grass. Got up to BW50. First with a sidecar on it, and then I would ride with my other than my neighbor that was the same age as me. We'd ride around a little bit, destroy more grass, and then at one point we started going to see tracks or certain places that you can really ride at, because that wasn't not only be able to do it in the backyard. So we figured out that I could also go to a local track. We went to a track in Germany. It's 20 minutes from my house, boy. Yeah, just started doing laps over there. At one point they asked hey, there's a club race over here. You guys want to ride there as well? Yeah, sure. So basically pulled up to the first race, not knowing what any gate procedures was whatsoever. Basically.
Totally wrong.
Yeah, 15 seconds would go up, 5 seconds, gate would drop, and I would still get the gate. Everyone would be in the first corner, all right.
That was me this weekend. I totally forgot how to do a gate drop.
Yeah.
completely.
But yeah, that's basically the startup of how it started, basically.
That's cool. So how did you actually get into like, your first races? Like when did you take it seriously? Did it go from like a 65 or did you start an 85?
But I started doing Dutch championships at like 50 cc's, but
Wow, impressive.
like 50 cc, I think I was like 7 years old.
They started them that really.
Yeah, we had like, but the funny thing was like I was riding against guys back then that they would let me in the beginning, and the guys that led me on 50 cc's, we had like Davey Poaches, we actually ended up racing GPs together. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's cool. That's really cool. And it's awesome to hear that because even our buddy Corey is, he's just a local guy, and he's got stories, and he's like, oh yeah, I was riding with Ciantarulo, and so was my brother, and
Loretta's,
and he went to Loretta's, and it's just that's the cool thing about motocross is that even a nobody, I go and buy an exhaust, and it ends up being your old coach from you growing up. I mean, how crazy is that? And you're here in a little town all the way from Holland. So I think motocross is so cool in that way that, it can just bring almost everybody together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's essentially doesn't matter if you're like in Europe or America or Australia. It's one big community. People know each other. People see each other. And yeah, it's just fun basically. And we can all share the same stories basically of how we all started and how we all love motocross.
I was gonna say, I think our community, as opposed to a lot of sport communities, is one of the most positive and
tight knit.
Yeah, tight knit. We're very atmospheric based. Like
it doesn't matter where you come from, blue collar,
white collar. No, we all got love. We all get down in the dirt. We all fall, break bones.
Yeah.
We all love gas.
Well, hopefully not the break bone stuff too much.
Hopefully not. But
it is quite funny because my trainer, Bas Vaessen from like NTF, you guys know Sky House from Dakar and everything. Like, I knew him since like last year, like the year before, maybe even when he was like training at my trainer's place. And it's so fun that like someone that comes from America racing Dakar is at the same gym that I was at, just preparing for Dakar, which is also like a motorcycle championship or race.
One of the hardest.
Yeah, it's completely different than motocross itself, but we all train at the same gyms, we all do the same thing, and we all love the same thing.
Bikes connect us, man. It doesn't matter what section of motocross or adventuring or what you're doing. It's all
actually
very
funny that on 85s I used to race against Bradley Cox. He's from South Africa. We used to race the German Championship, the European Championship, World Championship on 85s, and he is now racing against Skylar House in Dakar. Like completely different discipline, but we all started at the same place, basically.
That's crazy.
And that's the cool part is the different avenues you can take within motocross. Like, I don't know, I started riding when I was like 8 years old, rode competitive league when I was younger, then just hung it out for 17 years. And that was it. I never thought I'd get a bike again. So now, and then I met the group of individuals I met, which luckily introduced me to you too. And it's like, it's cool because no matter where you're from, it's like that same mindset. And I feel like motocross, it's a mindset thing.
Oh yeah,
I remember I actually had to write a paper to my dad to explain to him why I could race. And I had to do I did research on the mental part of it and how you use like mathematic reasoning and all that. It was crazy. But that's what I had to do. So
to get on the bike.
I had to. He didn't think I could ride. And I finally proved to him that one, I could get on the bike and ride, and that there was a reason. So it's crazy.
It doesn't matter where we come from. Like I've got a couple of my friends that race like this championship, whatever. They basically never leave Holland, but they can haul ass in Holland and ride pretty good in the sand tracks. I put them over here or put them on an Italian track, they'll be struggling a little bit, but like we all still love the same parts of it, basically. Like they come up to me and they ask like, hey, what can we improve here? What can we improve here? And sometimes I will go to them like, hey, well, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And doesn't matter what skill level, what age, which bike actually ride, we all still connect with each other about certain aspects.
We also like to help each other. This community is not about gatekeeping secrets or anything. I mean, you look at almost any of these guys nowadays, and they have a podcast or videos on how to eat, how to train, just bike maintenance, things that can help you, suspension settings. I mean, there's so much knowledge out here for you to just consume on motocross.
And also it changed in the last 20 years quite a lot, because today we were speaking to someone that used to be a factory mechanic at like 2004, 2005. He said like back then everyone had their own training compound or their own training facility, and they were all riding on their own. But right now, like yesterday, I went to the dog pound, like the largest compound, and they were riding with like 12 different guys all together. And when you see like videos of like Jay Saxon and Ken Roxon riding together, and the Star Yamaha guys, they're all riding together. When you go to Europe, like we would be texting to each other like on Tuesday, like where are you riding on Tuesday, where are you riding Wednesday, where are you riding Thursday.
It's like what we do regularly. It's just the same thing on a bigger level.
Yeah, even in Europe, and we are like over here, you've got the compounds basically that's all free, or like not free, but like you've got like your own free space that you can ride at. In Europe, you've got like public tracks where you can ride. So we were riding with the entire public. So sometimes we get a little bit dangerous, but that's why we make sure that like I will text like Jeremy Saber and Tamar Muse and like other riders to get together. Like, hey, on Tuesday we're going to Veldhoven, and Wednesday we're going to Bergen, and Thursday we're going to, let's say, Eersel. And then we'd have like 5 or 6 GP rides together and just ride over there, because then it feels a little more safe, but also you get more of like the racing lines into it. But in the end, we are still all riding on the same tracks.
So that's cool.
It is cool. I mean, you wouldn't really expect to see guys from other factory teams hanging out with each other on the weekend in their free time.
Well, you don't see in other sports. You don't see somebody from the Lakers.
Tom Brady's not going to be hanging out with Drew Brees on Saturday.
No, they're not sharing playbooks.
No.
Because normally there was sharing playbooks, just like we're just trying to build each other up, basically. And I feel like that's more in motocross than in anything else.
Definitely.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of rivalry in the sport, and there's tons of competitiveness, and at times it can be very, very emotional
and toxic. So at some point,
but I think that when you look at the whole of it, that this sport is very, very good with the sportsmanship and being fair to each other and understanding the fellow man, because it's so raw. This sport. I mean, it's like when you watch.
Motocross is the most dangerous sport in the world, but I feel like it's definitely up there with those.
Yeah, I'd say.
I feel like you would also see like downhill would be very like dangerous, or like downhill would be dangerous, and you've got like hockey and like ice hockey and stuff. But
I mean, the car's pretty bad itself.
Yeah,
I mean, those guys get caught in like flash floods and through the desert, man. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they have whole recovery teams just to pull these guys out, and it's wild, man. I mean, why would you put yourself through that? It's what I ask.
Well, that's the thing. What other thing are you going to do where you put yourself in this kind of for free time? All you do is constantly challenge yourself to do something out of your comfort zone all the time. There's not a lot of things that you do that where you constantly are challenging yourself mentally and physically on your free time. I don't know. There's just
and spend so much money on doing it.
Yeah. It's not a cheap hobby.
No, definitely not.
It beats up your body, it beats up your wallet, beats up your mind. Wow.
You gotta have a good support.
I have a question. Ignoring Alan's shirt, who are you guys rooting for Supercross 2023 championship this Saturday?
It's pretty much given up all.
I mean,
I think Saxon's got her locked up.
I think
HRC Honda's pretty much squared it away.
I would absolutely love to see Ken Roxon somehow finish it out.
I'd love to see Kenny do it. I mean, Kenny's done amazing.
But it'd have to be another wild card, kind of like what happened to Tomac for that to happen.
No, but Saxon's already like 43 points ahead of Kenny.
I think it's
really? Oh, okay.
Last
time I thought he was like 17 points.
I thought it was 7.
No, it's like 43 points, and you can only get 26. So
it's locked at this point. HRC's got it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not mad.
No. But like we were saying though, with the sport, who would have thought that it would change at the end of the season where you look at all top level riders?
Everyone was there. No, but everyone was there until like 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Everyone was there, and in 2 week time, just fuck.
I mean, we watched Malcolm go out first thing in the season.
Yeah, but that was pretty much the only one in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, we lost Malcolm, and we were missing a few of the 250 riders throughout the season. I mean, Pro Circuit's been almost non-existent this season.
Yeah.
Callie's
Callie's been struggling. I mean, Adam had to go out there and, represent. Jason Anderson was even down. So, and he's been struggling this year as well. He hasn't even been the healthiest. He's had a few good crashes that seem to just knock him out of the.
Yeah, but the speed's good.
The speed's
good. He would come back from pretty much lost every single race to like third, fourth, or fifth.
Yeah, no, I mean he's great, man. He's just something's up with the Pro Circuit team right now.
Well, even Cluster though, look at him throughout the season. From Tampa on, he started he was so consistent.
I was impressed, man. Hey, I don't like root for the orange team, but
he's good.
I'm a fan of the rider.
I'm curious now. How do you feel about Austrian bikes?
Well, my last 3 years, I was on the KTM, and honestly, I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely different than a Japanese bike because ever since I turned pro, I was on Japanese bike. First, I was on Suzuki's. I was on Suzuki's also with the Air Forks and all that stuff on it. And I went to Honda for a year, and then I went to KTM. And it took me quite a while to adapt to the KTM because it just turns a whole lot different than the Japanese bike. And I prepared the whole winter long. Felt amazing. Came to the first GP, I was off the mark. The whole settings were complete garbage. It was terrible, and then it took me 3, 4, 5 GPs to basically get the setting, the correct race setting, not just training settings, practice setting, but the race setting, with suspension and everything. But once I got that dialed in, bike was good. But for sure, the 2016 Suzuki I had, the 250 with Air Forks, that bike was phenomenal. It might not have been the most, the fastest engine, but it had the torque, and that bike was so incredibly comfortable. I could just pin it around corners so other people would have to turn up the gas.
Well, the one thing that we've said too, him and I both, even long before
Suzuki supremacy, man.
Yeah, Suzuki. I mean,
there's just something about that frame that's incredible. I don't know what it is, but it is. It was such an incredibly easy bike to ride that when we had downhill section full of fronts and bumps, whatever, I didn't care.
Everybody's always said is the Suzuki is just an easy feel bike.
Yeah,
I mean, almost anybody can hop on it and feel wow, this is a comfortable chassis.
If I would, let's say I would get healthy tomorrow morning, and if I would get healthy tomorrow morning, I would buy a 450 Suzuki. The only thing that would push me back a little bit would be the Kickstarter, Kickstart Kenny, but the Suzuki was just so damn comfortable, was incredible.
I think they look.
I think they're so sharp.
I love the way they look.
Give me a picture of a 2008 Suzuki or 2008 any different autograph. That 2008 Suzuki still looks sick.
Oh yeah, I agree. I really agree. I do like those old style RMZs, and it's funny because when I had my Honda and I was just riding the Honda, I was looking for a second bike. And I hadn't decided on an electric starter or Kawasaki or anything. I just opened to another Japanese bike. And I looked at RMZs, wow, those are so cheap, man. Those are so nice. I'm going for $3K. I thought, man, I'm not
real lazy.
I'm not going to kick another bike. I'm not going to buy another bike just to kick that one. I already got one kicked. So.
I came from the era of no bike, so I'm lucky now. But
I respect it.
It's I'll tell you what. Actually, when Cat was ripping that spider to the corner. Stall. Boom! Hit the button and just take off. You don't see that. I was in Miami a couple years ago. I saw a kid who's 14 on a YZ450. He comes off a triple, stalls it coming off the landing, hits the button, comes through the corner, and hits the double after.
Yep.
Back in the day, you were toast. No, you're done. You're done. That was never going to happen. And I grew up in the era where we're talking old, YZ426.
You're still allowed to have
the impression lever.
The hot start.
Yeah.
Hot start.
I remember finding top dead center, having to. Man, that you just didn't install that bike.
No.
You were done.
You would literally go from first to last.
And that's crazy because I was out getting lunch probably a few months ago, back when we were still going to Sorby's and everything back in the winter, and this dude comes to me and he goes, "Oh man, hey, you ride around here? You saw the bike in the back of my truck?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Where are you riding?" He goes, "I've got a Wisely 426 and it's the best bike ever. I have 3 of them."
Probably still got the donkey dick on the back.
He still got the dumb exhaust on it. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I got the one with the stupid little thing that comes up." I go, "Wow."
I remember that, bro.
So he pulls out his phone and he shows me he's got 3 of those things, man. And I said, "Wow, you made that decision 3 times. You made that choice 3 times."
But to be fair, one of my best friends, he's got a Honda CR500 from 1983. That thing barks.
Well, yeah.
That sounds off.
I mean,
Yeah, but there's nothing like that.
I was
That's
just
like
gonna
its
say.
own. That's in its
That's
own.
own category.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
that thing basically has like not even a power valve to tune. I mean, it's basically on and off, and you gas it. Yeah, that's it.
I haven't had.
You'll lose your arms all the way.
Yeah.
I haven't had the luxury of riding from.
No.
I was supposed to go ride one, but then I crashed. But my friend, he actually promised me to ride like after the season, because like in the season I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Like after the season, he said like, because he was rebuilding it actually, and he said like, oh yeah, you can ride it after the season because then it'll be ready and it'll be fine.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
So the progression since the crash though, what was the progression like? How did it? Because I remember you showed me the video where you were moving your shoulders.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Like in the beginning, I could only pretty much move my shoulders, and then like after a few weeks, I could like start like move my leg a little bit. And so basically, the first month I crashed in England, and I had to stay in Oxford, Oxford University Hospital, Oxford Hospital. Sit there for 3 weeks, and I could only that was the only thing that I could do. I don't remember anything from the first week that I was in there, because in the beginning they pumped me so full of like medication and whatever that I was just completely out of it. Don't remember anything at all. Then the first 3 weeks just laid in bed and just only could move my shoulders. That was pretty much it. Then at one point started like move my leg a little bit, then I could fly my left arm a little bit, then I could start using my right leg a little bit, then my right arm a little bit, and just start progressing from there.
I saw on your Instagram that you had some of your physical therapy posts up.
Yeah.
And I saw them like helping you walk and having you in that bungee thing. And
Yeah.
I mean, how long did that take? Did they have you doing that like on a regimen, or you know?
Oh yeah. So I came back to Holland, and normally you would only get like an hour, 1.5 of therapy a day, which meant like either you would have like a half an hour physical therapy or half an hour, I don't know, like hand therapy, and half an hour like drawing, basically just try to get a move on. I was like, yeah, I'm not sticking around for 1.5 hours. So I was just basically living in the hospital for like 4 months or something. I don't even remember how long it was. But I basically lived in there, and you would get woken up at 7 o'clock every single morning. They wake you up, a physical physiotherapist would come in, start moving your legs, moving your arms, just like try to get the blood flowing a little bit, have like a little bit of breakfast, and then the first therapy would start, and normally you would have like an hour, 2 hours of rest. Then you would have like, then you would have another therapy, lunch, a little rest, therapy, and that would be it for the day. And I was like, yeah, I'm not only going to do that. So I basically just begged my doctors, like, just give me more therapy, give me more therapy, give me more therapy, till the point that the people that make the schedule, they were like, yeah, we cannot fit anything more in because
That's a
it doesn't work.
That's a mentality.
So basically from 7 in the morning until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just every hour was filled with therapy. It would either be like power training in the gym, some like swimming, hand therapy, going to like art class, like learn back how to draw and write again. I would also be in some how would you call it again? So they would try like new studies.
Mm-hmm.
So they also tried like VR because they were sort of studying like how if it could improve and what the results are. So I was doing like VR stuff. I was trying to like play video games again, and they would have like a table full of buttons, and I would be playing like Call of Duty, just trying to hit the buttons and like trying to move around with those buttons basically.
Oh shit.
And
So that's just you're trying to get the skills, motor skills back from hand to foot.
Yeah.
So and that was also what the VR therapy was for. Like you don't see your arms, and basically I don't feel my arms or my legs anymore. So I always have to look down. Like what am I doing? Like if I want to grab this bottle, I really have to look and grab it basically because
you can't feel what you're thinking.
No. So and that was what the VR therapy was for. So like in VR you was moving around, but
I've gone through any traumatic experiences in motocross that they reached out to you.
Oh, so many.
I was gonna say
I was talking to like Brian Moreau, talking to Brian Moreau a lot, and like other riders, and just keep in contact with them, like see how they experienced it, like if they knew something, what they know for me, or if I could like share some information for them, and basically the same as like you're riding on a track. Like you come up to each other, like, hey, what are you doing in that corner? Like for us, like, hey, what are you trying to do with your legs?
Oh yeah.
So it's actually quite the same, like a similar principle. Just instead of like that corner, it will be like, what are you doing with shoes, or what are you doing with, like with a wheelchair, or whatever. And it was actually quite a funny story that one of my best friends, he was already paralyzed for like 5 or 6 years from like the waist down, and he was in the wheelchair for so long, and like he already like me and I, like we could like relate and talk to each other. I already knew about what like paraplegia was, but you obviously never experienced it until like you've got it yourself. And now it was like really nice to have him there as well, I guess as support. But just try to like connect with other people and see like what's going on basically.
How was the adaptation into just going into like? I mean, one day you're racing in MXGP, and then the next day you're now in the hospital, and all your hopes are realistically. I mean, what did you think? Did you even think you were going to get back on a bike ever?
I knew I was never going to get back on a bike. I knew instantly the moment I was like I hit the ground and I was laying on the ground. I knew like I'm never going to be on a bike again. I was laying on the ground because I just literally couldn't move. Because everything was gone from here on out.
It's gonna be scary.
Because I basically where the damages is in between C3 and C4, and basically the damage C2, so one disc higher, like you can't breathe. So if I one disc higher, then I probably would like just suffocated or something.
Yeah.
But so C3, C4, and just it was completely cut out. It was like a plug in the wall. Just all the electricity just called out basically. And I knew from that day like I'm never going to be able to ride again. I wasn't even sure if I could even like sit up by myself or whatever.
Did they have a prognosis for you that's different than what?
They doctors don't say shit. They don't say anything because they don't want to give you hope.
Right.
Because if they give you hope and it doesn't happen, then they are the assholes basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So they just didn't from the beginning on out. They said like, just don't keep your hopes up. Don't keep your hopes up. Don't keep your hopes up. But I was like in my mind, like I'm not gonna accept this. So even if I have my whole day therapy from like 7 till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like after dinner I'll be like watching a Netflix series and try to like do sit-ups or like squats or whatever. At that one point when I go further, just didn't accept it. I couldn't sleep anyway, so
I'm sure that's what made the big difference too. Is you just having that mentality, being a fighter in motocross, and then you're like, man, I'm not gonna let this beat me in life either.
Oh no, definitely not. So like obviously I've had like loads of moments and like loads of downs, but I just gotta keep moving because you're gonna get kicked down so many times, but if you stay down, then it's only gonna get worse basically.
Yeah, no, that's why when I met you, I was like, man, because there's so many people with the same circumstance that you can either be a victor or a victim. It's like everybody has a certain mindset. So to be able to, you just never know until you're in it how you react. But to be able to get through it in a positive light, I think we've all experienced trauma and stuff like that of some kind, but that's like literally life changing.
Overnight, you had everything you wanted basically.
Dude, I was living my dream life, and basically. I was living a dream.
I mean, just that in your head can make you go, why? What's the point anymore? You know what I mean? And
but it also I was lucky that I could improve so much that my spinal cord is damaged, but I can still move somewhat. I can still like sort of walk around, and I can like pick up stuff, and I can just drive around and just see you guys riding at the track and stuff, which is good. But if I ever would have stayed like this, then it would have never been worth it, and it wouldn't have been worth it for me. Because then you're just literally just sitting in a chair like this. And I've seen so many people when I was in the hospital, like you see so many people that they kind of give up and they just don't improve, or they don't want to improve, or they think like, oh yeah, it's been good enough for me. But most people are like in the time that I was in hospital, I'm not saying in generalization, but most people when I was in hospital, they were all like 50 plus. So they were kind of like, yeah, we've had a good life. It's good enough for us. Most of them had like an office job or like something simple, so they were never used to training, fighting, racing, having like hardships.
And that was your whole life.
Yeah, like since you know the moment you step on a dirt bike, you know it's gonna be like fight. It's gonna be a fight. Like every single injury, every time you ride, every time you race, it's gonna be a fight. So like you're just used to it.
That's funny. I really like that. Every time you get on it, it's gonna be a fight.
It's true, and that's why I said it goes back to what I was saying. It's the mentality. Like you're literally challenging yourself the second you get on it. Every aspect of it is a challenge.
Like riding took my life away, but because of riding, I've also gotten so much back. Basically, if I wasn't riding and this happened to me, like I definitely wouldn't have come this far back. Definitely not. Because also, in my mindset is still like I still haven't accepted that I'm not like in my mind. Obviously, I know I'm not never going to be a rider or a GP rider again, but in my mind, I'm still in preparation. I'm still preparing for the next GP season in my mind. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but
it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just not clear cut.
Yeah,
for somebody looking from the outside in.
Yeah, my mentality is still in like preparation mode, get ready for the next season, and because of that, I also can like wake up every single morning. Okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's train. Let's walk.
That's what they talk about. Even in MMA and stuff like that. The discipline. The character that it builds. You're just a different person once you're locked into the lifestyle, and it changes you.
Completely.
Exactly. I mean, in motocross, in life, in anything, it'll just round you out.
Yeah, motocross has taught me so much that I don't think any other sport could have taught me. Basically,
No.
I guess so. One of my major questions, I guess, is at this point, what does the future look like? What are your plans?
Well, now I'm getting a real estate degree, and I'm working in real estate now, just trying to build that up. But I don't have like a click up, and I'm like mostly still focused on my recovery. But I'm trying to get further into real estate and just try to build that up because I'm never gonna be able to like do anything physical. I always hated doing like office work, or like I always was like I will never get an office job. I will never get it. Well, now I've got an office job, but I've kind of seen this side of it now, and also like the challenges that brings with it, and I feel like I'm enjoying it more and more and more. In the beginning, I was kind of like lost, but like, what should I do? I didn't know what to do because in motocross, we're like, okay, this day, this, or even if something happened, you could immediately click your mind, okay, this went wrong, we're going here.
Yeah.
But in real estate, I was like, yeah, I've got absolutely no idea what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I was constantly like, pretty much asking my supervisor, like, hey, this happened, what should I do? This happened, what should I do? And now I'm feeling like I'm getting a little more comfortable in it. I'm far inexperienced. I'm definitely not experienced yet.
You stepped into a whole new world.
But yeah, it's just starting over. It's just like something completely new, and it's also kind of like an exciting challenge.
Another challenge.
It's a refresh.
It's the next
step in life, and it's not the end for you. Obviously, there's bigger things, and probably there's going to be another chapter after that one. You'll probably figure out in a few years. You've probably got something under your belt that you're going to come out with, or whatever. But it's not the end for Bas.
No, definitely no.
Definitely
No.
Well, I just want to thank you. I really appreciate you coming and talking, especially since you're here on a limited time. So.
Yeah, and it's also great to have you around. Throw us some pointers, show us some insight.
Old videos and just. I mean, it was awesome.
It's great.
I'm glad I got the pleasure to meet you. Seriously.
So yeah, that was awesome. Like coming here and just also seeing like the American lifestyle a little bit because Most of the time when I go like on holidays, whatsoever, I don't really plan for it because if you plan for it, you only see like TripAdvisor, like go dolphin searching or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna go do all the commercial shit.
Well, that's
So-
kind of the dream over there that I was asking you about, and I thought it was so fascinating how we're at the track and out of nowhere your buddy from England runs up.
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm like, man, and that's what we talk about this small world. But his buddy from England runs up, and they're talking about what was it? Just the dream of coming to America,
Oh, yeah.
Supercross, and the culture here with the bikes, and how it's just, you know,
So much different over
when you
here.
grow up over there, this is what you want, and it's just so weird for us who grew up in America, and we hate this
No, for us, in Europe, pretty much almost every single rider, like I guarantee it, almost every single rider has had the dream of going to America at some point in their career.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same going somewhere else, but no, I get it. So, well, is that last? Do you have any last things you want to say to that? So, well, thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed listening.
It's awesome to have you. Please tune in for more.
Yes, many more.
Subscribe.
Send them some likes. Share it to your friends. If you like Suzuki's, you'll like these videos. Okay.
Follow Bass's journey as well. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a great one, and we look forward to
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Yeah,
What's
we'll plug
your
his
IG
Instagram and his
Oh.
details in the bio and
Yes,
stuff, so
good.
you can give
Where
him
can
a follow.
My IG details are from in the bio, but it's like Bas Vaessen 98 on Instagram. So
We'll put it somewhere.
We'll get it in there.
what's the Only Date podcast?